Okay, so now that you have the cross, the next thing you want to do is make sure that the corners are properly positioned. They don't have to be properly flipped so that the yellow is at the top. You don't have to look for that. What you need to make sure, or what you need to look for, is that they're properly positioned. What do I mean? So for example, let's look at this one here. This one is the orange, blue, and yellow. Where do you think is this supposed to go? It should be on the side where you have the orange and the blue. So in this case, I'd say this is at the right position because it is at the corner where the yellow is here, the orange is here, and the blue is here. So it's at the right position, it's just not flipped the right way, right? So that's okay. At this stage, that's good. Okay, let's look at the other corners. So this one here is the red, green, and yellow corner. So where should it be positioned? Let's twist it a little bit to look for the right positioning. And here it is. Okay, so yellow, red, and green over here. So this one is correctly positioned if it was positioned here. It's just not flipped the right way, but again, that's okay for now. Let's move on to the next. Orange, yellow, and green. Where should this go? Well, actually, this is already positioned correctly because this is yellow, green, and orange. So correct position, but not flipped correctly. That's fine. Next, we have blue, red, and yellow, which should be right here. There you go. This is the correct spot. So what I've just tried to explain is how to identify whether or not they're at the right spot. Okay, don't get confused. If they don't have to be flipped correctly, we're just trying to know if they are at the right spot. So we need to look for at least two corners that are positioned correctly. So this one we've just moved at the right spot. This one is not positioned correctly. Or and then this one is not positioned correctly as well. This one is not positioned correctly. So let's try to move it so that at least two corners are positioned correctly. Let's focus our attention to this one. Let's say, for example, we're going to move it to the side where it has the blue and the orange. Okay, let's try it here and look at the other corners to see if anything else has been positioned correctly. So this one is correct. This one is not. Okay, because it has red and green and we're at the side of blue and red. So this is not positioned correctly. Not positioned correctly. Not positioned correctly. So we only have one here that's actually positioned correctly, this one. So let's try the other one now. Don't get impatient. This is part of the troubleshooting steps. Okay, so this one here, red, green, yellow. Let's look for the right spot. Okay, so it should be over here, right? Red, green, and yellow. This is the correct spot for this corner. Now let's look at the other corners. And as you can see, this one too is at the right spot because it's at the spot where it has it's beside the one that's orange and green and yellow, and this one also has orange, green, and yellow. So you've just figured that these two are correctly positioned. They're just not flipped correctly. Again, that's okay. So just remember these two. Now this one is incorrectly positioned, and then this one is also incorrectly positioned. As you can see, and as you figured, these two are correct. Okay, you don't have to do anything for these two for now. These two are correct. Okay, so these two has to switch. these two are correct. So how are we gonna switch it? First, you have to make sure that your orientation should be that the two corners that you have to switch is on your right side, like this. Okay, so you don't hold it like this, not like this, not like this. Again, make sure that the two corners that you have to switch is on your right side. And for you to be able to switch this, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do the epic move 3 times. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. And then flip it to the other side, like this, and then do the left side epic 3 times as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay. After doing that, you should be able to see that you've just solved the corners. You've just positioned them correctly. Again, don't mind the corners not being flipped correctly. That's totally fine. So let's take a look. This one is red, blue, and yellow. So let's just twist it to find the right spot, just like that. Okay, so this one is correct now, positioned correctly. This one is red, green, yellow. So as you can see, it's at the right spot, right? Because we have the red face here, green face here, yellow at the top. So that's correct. This one is obviously correct, right? Orange, green, and yellow. And when you look here, also correct. Blue, orange, and yellow. So congratulations, you've just solved this step, making sure that all the corners are positioned correctly. Okay, so now that we were able to position all the corners correctly, white color is still intact at the bottom, second layer is still intact here. The next thing that we want to do is flip the corners correctly. In this case, we only have 2 that we need to flip. So when I say flip correctly, make sure that the yellow color is at the top like this. So how do we do that? Again, we're going to use the epic, the one and only algorithm that I promised you we will be using throughout this video. And basically, I'm just showing you where it should be done. What you're going to do is you're going to flip the cube. So once you have it flipped like this, what you want to do is put the concerned corner at your lower right, like over here. Okay, so this one is not in concern because it's already solved. This one is not in concern because it's already solved. This one is our concern now. So hold it like this, your cube, so that the corner in concern that you want to flip is over to your lower right, like this. And from here, you're going to keep on repeating the epic move as promised, one algorithm. You're going to do it repeatedly until you have this positioned correctly. I mean, flipped correctly, rather. So let's do it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Not yet there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not yet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, as you can see, you have just flipped it correctly like this. Now, don't worry about the other stuff messed up here. That's totally fine. And I'm going to show you why. So once this is fixed now, you're going to change it with the other corners that haven't been flipped correctly yet. So let's twist just the bottom here and put this one over here because it's not flipped correctly, right? And from here we're going to do the epic move again here repeatedly until this one is solved. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you noticed, the white yellow now, I'm sorry, the yellow corner now has been flipped correctly, and if you look at the other side, it's also solved. It's not messed up anymore, right? That's the magic of the epic move. So congratulations, just keep on repeating that. Just load it over here at the lower corner of your cube, and eventually you'll be able to solve all corners like this. And congratulations, you just solved the top portion. The next step is how to solve the center edges like this. Well, not center edges, just the edges like this.